Hey, what's going on, y'all? Showtime Sports Media, man. So, um, the Denver Nuggets was able to beat the Miami Heat in 5 games. Um, kind of like how everybody predicted. It was a pretty quick, I guess you could say easy series, but I wouldn't necessarily call it easy. I would say more of a one team was outmatched and outclassed by another. But you can't really say a whole lot about Eric Spoelstra and the Miami Heat. You know that they was outmatched and outclassed and outcoached. But Michael Malone, Jamal Murray, um, and Nikola Jokic especially, who is undoubtedly a Finals MVP. I mean, the man averaged a triple double, almost a triple double for the entire series, and he been doing this pretty much the entire playoffs. Against Minnesota, and then against the Suns and the Lakers, and now the Miami Heat. And I know a lot of people is going to discredit Jokic and say that he played 2 play-in teams in Minnesota and the Lakers, but you know um, he played the Suns with no Chris Paul and Miami Heat with no Tyler Hero, and Jimmy Butler was struggling, and they was AFC. But hey, man, you just gotta go and play when you play. It's the same thing with the Lakers in 2020. How they tried to discredit LeBron for winning in the bubble. If it was anybody else, it wouldn't be it's a bubble ring, it don't count. So if that one counts, this one gotta count. Nikola Jokic, I believe with this championship right here, bro, the man is easily already a top 20 talent in the NBA. Now, whether you want to rank him at the top of the top 20, or you want to rank him at the bottom of the top 20, or in the middle somewhere like 25, 26, I would personally rank him a top 20 talent in the NBA. And depending on what happened the rest of his career, he could jump into the top 15. With the type of numbers that he put up, in every category, and let him rattle off a couple of more rings. The man can easily be a top 15, maybe top 10 talent of all time. Now, who you want to slide off that list or who you want to move? And like I said, I don't like this conversation a whole lot because you can't. I just feel like you can't discredit players who retired and put a lot of these new dudes on just because they accomplished something in the moment. And when we ranking resumes and we talking about the entire body of work, how does your career stack up against the next man, right? And so with Jokic, I feel like Jokic is a guy, at least right now, that I think he might be top 20. He could slide up, or we could stay where he at right now. But in this moment right now, due to multi-time All-Star, 2-time MVP, in most people's eyes, he could have won a third straight MVP. I think that would have been something that had he done it and had he won this finals this year, the finals MVP, which he did tonight. I think that would have put him in a conversation that a lot of the greatest teams, a lot of the greatest players, and specifically a lot of the greatest big men of all time, like Shaq, Duncan, KG, Dirk, Hakeem, and guys like that. I think you would have been able to put him in those type of conversations. Now, in terms of the Denver Nuggets as a whole, Mike Malone is obviously a top 5 coach in the NBA. He up there with Earl Spoelstra. He up there with Pop. And I know a lot of people that's going to say, oh, well, Pop lost it. Pop don't got the... Listen, you do not win championships without star players. Coaching matters, but coaching ain't the end all be all. You got to have some type of supreme talent wearing one of your jerseys in order to win championships. Pop learned that when he drafted Tim Duncan. Pop learned that when he drafted Kawhi Leonard. Michael Malone had to learn that early on with Denver and make a decision with Jokic, because a lot of people don't realize him and Yusef Nurkic was on the same team at one point, and Jokic, if you know anything about him, he really didn't care about him and Nurkic sharing the court or him being the backup to Nurkic at the time. But the front office wanted to build around Nikola Jokic. He really didn't care. But they traded him to Portland, and the rest is history. He became a starter, and then slowly improved. Had to go through a lot of spells of first round exits, second round exits. His team being hurt, Jamal Murray being hurt, Michael Porter being hurt early in his career. The roster not really filling out the way that it has now, with a lot of trades and a lot of free agent acquisitions that they ended up getting, like Aaron Gordon and Bruce Brown and Kentavious Caldwell-Pope, who was another member of that championship Lakers team in 2020. But Jokic and Murray are, they are the new Shaq and Kobe. I can't really give you a better comparison. They are the new Shaq and Kobe. If you look at the way Shaq dominated in the paint and dominated, the way that he dominated, and you look at the way Nikola Jokic dominate. And I know people are going to say, well, he gave you other things that Shaq really didn't give you, like the passing and the rebounding and stuff like that. And yeah, I can agree with that. But at the same time, I can also say that Nikola Jokic is also a player that, like you seen in Game 2, can give you 47. He can give you double-digit rebounds. Now, again, the equalizer for Jokic, or the thing that separates him away from a guy like Shaq, is the assist numbers. But even if you want to say, okay, you give Jokic the assist numbers, I would look at him and say, okay, cool. He can still give you the points and the rebounds like Shaq did. And me personally, I would argue that now we'll see later on in his career, later on down the line, but I will also contend that Nikola Jokic might be a little better than Shaq was at that point when he was winning championships. Just because of the way he was doing it. And Jamal Murray, would I argue that he was better than Kobe at that point? Maybe not. I would say he was a little bit more seasoned in terms of being a number 2 than Kobe was, because Kobe was only, in his 3rd year. Jamal Murray was, in his 6th. So, yeah. But I wouldn't say in terms of, what Kobe was doing versus what Jamal Murray and them was doing, that he was better than Kobe. But I will say that Nikola Jokic, from what I've seen, this postseason run, is a lot better than what Shaq was during his run, at least during the first championship. At least we want to compare the first championship. I would say Jamal Murray was a little better than Kobe, and I would say Jokic was a little better than Shaq. Only because Only because if you look at it defensively, Jokic wasn't fouling out a lot like Shaq was in those finals. I think Shaq fouled out twice against Indiana when they won the championship. And Kobe had to take over. Jokic wasn't doing that. But to the point, man, congratulations to Nikola Jokic. And the Denver Nuggets, like I said, I had Miami in 7. It looked like late that Miami was at least going to force a game 6. But Bruce Brown getting that tip in, and giving the Denver Nuggets a 1-point lead, and them never looking back at that point was the deciding factor. If you look at a lot of things that Jamal Murray and Jokic and Aaron Gordon and all those dudes doing offensively, defensively, they just overwhelmed the Miami Heat. Jimmy Butler did not produce. Jimmy Butler did not produce the way that I thought he was going to produce in these finals. And Miami suffered because of it. All in all, it was a good ride for the Denver Nuggets. You know, no one seed throughout the playoffs, no one seed throughout the season. Had a home court advantage all throughout the playoffs, and they showed why they was one of the best teams in the league. You know, only losing one game at home, and that was game 2 in the finals against Miami. And they had a dominant performance by their 2 best players. So, you know, Denver deserved this, man. Denver deserved everything that comes with it. You know, being a champion, you know, winning on their home court, celebrating with their fans after almost 50 years as a franchise, not winning, and, you know, getting beat by teams that a lot of people thought was either better than them or, you know, lesser versions of them. But they got it done tonight. Congratulations to the Denver Nuggets and Nikola Jokic.